My sister sabotaged my relationship. She announced her pregnancy with my man, my boyfriend, and it's all because her man left her, so she was jealous. Yeah, my own sister. Let that sink in.
Have you ever felt your head going all dizzy as the world around you crumbled to pieces? By world, I don't exactly mean all the people and the things around you, but the little world you built around certain people. It must hurt when that comes crashing to the ground, right? Well, that's exactly what's happening to me. I'm heartbroken as I'm trying to figure out what's true and what's not true from the shattered pieces of what I call my happy-going life. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Alice, your average 28-year-old with a good job and the most amazing boyfriend ever. Or so I thought. Because what happened yesterday has led me to believe that whatever I was basing my whole life off was a lie. So my boyfriend Kyle and I have been together for over a year now, and it's been going very well. We loved and cared for each other, while at the same time we respected each other's space and boundaries. It felt like a perfect match to me, so much so that we moved in together quite early in our relationship. But none of this perfect match or made-for-each-other crap is making sense to me right now. See, I've trusted Kyle a lot since that start of our relationship, but now I just feel like I've been truly stupid. You guys must be very confused, right? I'm sorry if my thoughts are coming jumbled and not making much sense because I'm in a very bad place right now, emotionally speaking. So my boyfriend Kyle is not the only reason why I'm here. Crying in front of you guys, an equal part of the reason is my younger sister Nina. And the reason why my heart is in literal pieces right now is because Kyle cheated on me with none other than my sister. And you know what? That's not even the worst part of all. The crazy part is that Nina is pregnant. Yeah, my little sister's pregnant with my boyfriend's baby. You can imagine how bad that must be for me. But before getting into how all this happened and how I got to know about it, let me tell you about my relationship dynamic with Nina, so that you understand why this came as a big shock to me. So, Nina and I were pretty close as children, but as we gradually grew up, we also grew apart. It's not like we had a fight or we were after each other's lives or something. It was more like we got busy with our own lives and could not find the time to fit each other into our daily schedule. Though I tried to do my best to keep in touch with her, Nina's introverted personality took over and she just kept to herself as soon as she moved out to another town for her degree. But that did not mean that we were completely absent from each other's lives. Nina did visit me once or twice a month and we would catch up and have loads of fun. That's how Nina also knew Kyle, since Kyle and I have been living together for some time now. So, during these monthly meetups when Nina would visit us, we tried to catch up on each other's lives. While I would open up about my happening life with Kyle, Nina was mostly secretive about hers. Not exactly secretive, but she always said that she did not have much to talk about since she had a pretty boring life. You know, it was actually kinda sad for me, because since the moment Nina shifted to another town, she never once told me about a boyfriend, or any friends. I thought my sister had turned into a loner, and when I asked her to meet new people and make friends, she would just tell me that she was alright alone, and wanted to focus on her degree. But it was another story when Nina visited us. She was this outgoing girl around us, going to parties with us, dancing, and having the best time. So I just assumed that Nina took time opening up to new people, while she was comfortable around us. This justified the fact that she had not many friends in her town, but I didn't want my sister to feel alone or suffer alone there. This is why, instead of pushing my sister to make new friends there, I started inviting her to my place often. Though her limited leaves restricted her from visiting me every week, but soon the visits got somewhat more frequent and I was happy. I thought this was the chance to get Nina to open up more about her life in her new town, and this was my way of ensuring that my sister did not feel alone there. But it turns out that this might have been the worst decision of my life, just to invite Nina over to my house and get her, more open up and comfortable around my boyfriend. Can you guess what? Nina showed up at my house yesterday claiming that she's pregnant with Kyle's baby. And can you imagine the utter shock on my face at her words? So here's what Nina said happened. Nina visited us a few weeks back when Kyle, she, and I went to a club to have a few drinks and party. We were celebrating one of my work achievements and we got pretty drunk. It was a wild night that ended with all three of us hammered, not able to remember anything about the last before we woke up the next morning. I thought we had fun and we went back to living our lives until Nina showed up at my door last night with a pregnancy test in her hand. She was crying and wailing about her boyfriend got her pregnant. I was too shocked to say anything, and that's when Nina continued to talk about how the night at the club ended up with Kyle helping Nina into her bed when we went back home. And one thing led to another, and they slept together. Nina says the reason is why she left the house first thing in the morning when both Kyle and I were asleep is because she didn't want to face me after what she did. She was crying, asking for my forgiveness and saying that she could not let this baby go. So she needs Kyle's help as he was the father. Guys, I was absolutely way too stunned to even reply. Yet I asked Kyle about it, and his response to the whole thing just made me believe that what Nina said might be true. When I asked Kyle about the same thing, he just stayed silent and said he remembered nothing about what he did that night. Never once did he say that he didn't do it. All he could say was that he didn't know exactly what happened since he remembered nothing. Yet he said that he could not believe that he would do something like this to me, and that too with my own sister? But how could I believe such a doubtful statement coming from a man who remembers nothing about what he did that night? Well, that's why, as much as it hurts to accept it, I knew that Kyle had cheated on me with my sister, and it broke my heart. The two people I thought were the closest to me have betrayed me, and I didn't know what I could do about it. My whole body was going numb. My brain did not know how to process all this, so I did what I thought best in the situation. I took my keys and wallet and left the house and got myself a hotel room. That's where I'm at right now, since I don't want to face Kyle or my sister. They've been calling me non-stop since yesterday, but I've not been picking up because I need time to process all this. Nina's been living in my house since yesterday, though. I get it that she's worried about the pregnancy and needs support. I'm still not comfortable with her being around my boyfriend since I'm still furious at both of them. I honestly just don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation. But one thing is for certain, I can't forgive these two so easily. They've betrayed me and broken my trust, and I don't know what to do now. I know hiding here in this hotel room and avoiding them is not a solution, and I would have to confront them sometime soon, but I honestly don't think I have the courage to do that right now. My mind is literally so disturbed. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm using this as an outlet to vent my feelings and also to ask you guys for suggestions on what I should do next. Should I just straight go and confront my boyfriend and my sister? Or is there any other thing that I can do right now? I'm honestly desperate for some advice and some outsider's view on this. So guys, can you please help me out? Update number 1. Hey guys, it's been a week since my initial post, and well, here I am with another update, and it's been really crazy. A development. Are you ready? So I'm still living in the hotel trying to find out the actual truth because I'm pretty confused right now. So, as a lot of you suggested that I should confront Kyle and Nina instead of avoiding them, that's exactly what I did. Before getting into it, I'd like to reply to a few of the commenters. Firstly, thank everybody for your support. But not everybody was very supportive, and I just want to clarify to the people who called me a coward that it's not the courage that I lack, but actually the sense to carry on. My mind was literally all over the place at the time when I got to know about Nina's pregnancy, as would anyone else, being such shocked news is broken to them. So I just needed some time to calm myself down, and my state of mind totally justified my actions. So I want to take anyone calling me a coward because that's the last thing I am, because even after all this, I had the courage to go and confront my boyfriend and my sister. So here's how it went. I went back to my house the next day after I wrote the initial post and asked to talk to both of them separately so that I could get a story of what exactly happened from both their perspectives. Nina, as always, was crying and begging me to believe her, saying that she had not been with anyone else lately other than Kyle. She retold the story of how they ended up sleeping together and how guilty she felt about everything. But she had nowhere else to go right now in this situation, and she just wanted support from Kyle and for him to take the baby's responsibility. It all sounded genuine coming from her, but when I realized that it was all a lie just 2 days later, I knew I was scared for my life. I might be getting ahead of myself, guys, so let me just tell you how things went and how I got to know the truth. After talking to Nina, I talked to Kyle, and he just repeated what he said before. that he could not remember anything, but he trusted himself not to do that to me. I was done with him at that moment. Not once in his entire situation did he ever say that he couldn't have happened. All he said was that he would not do something like this. But what if he did? He didn't remember anything anyways, so I had enough of it, and I just told him that I want to break up with him. At this, he just starts to cry and begged me for another chance. But I refused to listen to him and left for my hotel again. Everything was right in front of my eyes, and I thought I had found the truth until yesterday. I got barrels of calls from Kyle asking me to meet him outside the house as he had something for me. Well, I was reluctant at first, but that was all until Kyle told me that he had a way that he would prove he did not sleep with Nina. Well, that hooked me straight in, and I went to see him, and what I found was indeed shocking. Kyle had gotten the CCTV footage from the club exit and also the entrance of our home. It clearly showed that Kyle and I had left the club together drunk out of our wits, while Nina had left a few hours later, seemingly sober. All well. In the clip of the entrance of our house, there was just Kyle and me entering our home, and there was no trace of Nina either entering the house or us leaving the next morning. So these clips just prove that whatever story Nina weaved up was nothing more than a lie. And Kyle and she could not have hooked up at my house since Nina was never there that night. And this just brought me to the conclusion that they never hooked up the entire night since Kyle never left my side. So it was clear Nina was lying about the whole story and also about being drunk. Now that we knew Nina was a liar, the important question is to ask why. Why is she lying to us about something so big that almost broke my entire relationship into pieces? I had to find this out before confronting her, so that's why I told Kyle not to tell Nina, that we know about her lie. Also, Kyle has proved that he never cheated on me. Although I'm guilty of not trusting him, but he does understand it. So we're still going strong in spite of my sister's attempt at sabotaging the relationship. That's the only good news in all this. Now, I can't rest until I find the actual truth out. Until now, I've never shown much interest in Nina's life in her new town, but now I think it's necessary to find out what she's been up to there. Because what might have happened there that got Nina to take such a drastic step? And who is her real baby daddy if it's not Kyle? So I'm now back at the hotel since we don't want Nina to know about us being back together. We want to catch her off guard now that all of this is left for me to investigate Nina's life and find out what secret she's hiding from us. Anyways, whatever happens, I will let you guys know. Update number 2. Guys, you won't believe the things that I just found out. So it's been a few weeks since my last update and the things have honestly been really crazy. Like, until now we knew that Nina was a liar, but I never thought that she would be such a gigantic liar. So basically, Nina had been living a completely different life than what she had told me. She was just keeping me and my parents in the dark about all this. Here's what happened. I went to Nina's new town and got to the place that she gave me the address for a few months back, when I wanted to get something delivered to her place. There, I met another girl, Susie, who told me that Nina had stopped living with her months back and had been living with her boyfriend, Jack, all this time. Can you believe it? Nina had a boyfriend. Well, this isn't the crazy part. The girl asked me if Nina and her man had taken money from me as well. Well, I was confused and told her that I was Nina's sister, and I was just looking for her. That's when the girl opened up to me, telling me that I won't be able to find Nina since she ran away. In my utter confusion, I asked her what she meant by run away. That's when the whole story came to light. So basically, this girl Susie and Nina were in the same university, but Nina had left the university long back after she found Jack, a very troublesome guy. Susie looked a bit guilty while telling me about Jack, and when I asked her why, she just told me that Nina never wanted me or my family to find out what she was doing and who she was dating. Jack, since she knew that we would never approve of him because of his questionable habits. When I asked Susie about the questionable habits, she told me that Jack was the ultimate bad boy stereotype, with all the vices like alcohol, gambling, and he often got along with the wrong crowd. And guess what? This is not even the craziest part. Susie told me that Nina and Jack were pretty crazy about their expense, and because of Jack, Nina also got into gambling and stuff, which led them to a huge debt from some local loan shark, who were pretty dangerous people. And after this, Jack abandoned Nina to deal with the loan sharks and the debt and left. This is when Nina found out that she was pregnant, so she turned to Susie for help, asking for some monetary help to pay the debt. That's when Nina broke down in front of Susie and told her about the pregnancy as well. Susie did not have that kind of money, so she told Nina the same, after which Nina just fled away and Susie didn't know where she went. But since then, there have been people looking for Nina who also came to Susie asking about her. These are loan shark type people that Nina owes a large amount of money to. This whole visit to Nina's town opened up my eyes to the complete truth. So the reason why Nina is at my house is because she needs a hiding place, huh? And all that being pregnant with Kyle's baby is just so she can get money from Kyle to pay off all the loan sharks. Are you kidding me? I can't believe my sister would come up with such an evil plan. Just to save her own behind at the cost of her own sister and her year-long relationship. I was so furious at Nina that as soon as I was back in my hometown, I called Kyle to meet me. I've told him the whole story about Nina's lies, and we have decided to simply confront Nina. Well, it's not really the right solution, though. We need to teach Nina a lesson, and we need to do it in her own way of lies and deception. So that's what we plan to do. We're thinking of an elaborate revenge plan to show Nina her place. We might have something up her sleeve, but that might be a bit too risky. So we're still pondering over the whole thing. Can you guys think about anything that we can do to teach Nina a lesson? Please do let us know, as we can use some ideas right now. Updates number 3. Hey guys, it's been a few days since my last update, and here I am with a really good one. So you all remember how Kyle and I were planning to take revenge on Nina. It is with utter delight I tell you all that we were able to do it. Let me get straight into it. I mentioned before that Kyle and I kept it at a secret from Nina that we were back together. And Nina, being the delusional woman that she is, thought that her plan was working perfectly. So we just fed her delusions further. Kyle told her that he was ready to take the responsibility of the baby, and if she wanted, they could even get married and make it official. Nina was shocked at this and asked him if he was ready to leave me for her, and Kyle convinced her into believing that just because he wanted to provide a good normal family for his baby, he was ready to make sacrifices. Nina, being the delusional witch that she is, ended up agreeing to it, and it was utterly delighting at the whole idea. Obviously, she was delighted since being married to Kyle would give her further access to Kyle's money. But did she get married or get Kyle's money? The answer is no to both questions. So here's what happened. Nina wanted to get the whole thing done as soon as possible, so Kyle decided that they would go to the courthouse for a wedding so that all the legalities could be completed really soon. But little did Nina know that she would find waiting for her outside the court. On the wedding day, Kyle told Nina to get to the court and he would meet her there outside the court since he had some last-minute arrangements to make. Once Nina was outside the court near a shop where Kyle promised that he would meet her, she met the people who were already waiting there for her. The loan sharks that she was desperately running from. Well, you guys might be a little confused. Let me put your mind at ease. When I went to see Susie, she also told me that the people who were looking for Nina had given her their number to contact if Nina ever shows up. Well, that's where I got the contact of the loan sharks from. I just called them and told them that Nina would be near the courthouse around this time. The rest that they handled themselves. The hidden cameras and microphone outside the shop were there, which belonged to Kyle's friend. It allowed us to see the look of shock on Nina's face. And when she saw them heading towards her, she tried to run away, but it was too late. They were already there. Nina was so scared that her face seemed almost blue. They just threatened Nina to return all the money within a week or else she knew what they could be capable of. Then they left. Before leaving, they took away the gold bracelet and chain that Nina was wearing for her special day. She was scared out of her wits and came back to her house where she found me throwing all her stuff out. That's when she realized everything that happened. I just asked her whether she thought that she could keep us in the dark for long. She cried and begged us to help her and give her some money as if she failed to pay them, and it's going to harm her. If Nina had not lied to me earlier and had come to me directly asking for help, I would have probably helped her. But she had betrayed and broken my relationship with Kyle to get what she wanted. And call me evil, but I don't have it in my heart to forgive her after all that. So I just told her to get out of my house as well as my life. All this wedding fiasco ended a day ago. I've not heard from Nina, and I'm actually relieved that she's not trying to badger us anymore. With her out of our lives for good, we can actually focus on our relationship. I also do feel bad for doing this to my sister while she's pregnant, but she has left me no other choice. Though it'll be interesting to see how she's going to pay the huge amount back to the loan sharks within a week. Whatever happens, I'll keep you guys updated. Final updates. Hey guys, it's Alice again, hopefully for the last time. I know it's been about a month and a lot of you were curious about my sister and if she paid her debt and where she is, so I'm here to answer. Let's start with the question of whether she was able to repay it or not. The answer is no. Nina tried her best to repay the debt and she came once more begging me to help her out, but I refused. When she had nowhere else to go, she ended up at my parents' doorstep for a good hiding spot. My parents already knew that, everything she's done to me and all the things that she had been keeping from us, so naturally they refused to even help her. They didn't even allow her inside their home, but desperate for help, she asked them for money as her last resort, and they refused. At last, Nina was left with nothing, helpless. So 2 days before her deadline of a week was about to end, she fled the country. The loan sharks showed up to our place looking for her, but she was nowhere to be found. No one's heard from her since then, and we don't know where she is and how she's doing. But one thing I know for certain is that hiding and being on the run forever is not a solution, and this would just lead to a risky, miserable life for her and her baby. I just think right now she would just be in some pathetic rat hole trying to hide from a loan shark. Though I do feel somewhat bad for her. She's the one who chose this life for herself through her poor decision, so she has no one else to blame but herself. If only she had decided to never live this life of secrecy and come clean to me and my parents about this, maybe none of this would have ever happened and even if it did, we would have probably helped her. But she pushed everyone away, burned all her bridges, and landed into a deep pit, so far down that she has to face the consequences. Anyways, Kyle and I are finally back to our normal relationship. It's no doubt that this whole thing has led to some strain on both of us, but we're ready to work on it as this relationship is something we both want. So hopefully we can overcome whatever hurdles life may throw our way. Guys, please, wish me luck. This is all from my side, and lastly, thank you for all the comments.
Guys, the comment of the story, it says, well, what the hell, OP? Are you seriously this heartless? What does that, do? I mean, why? To your pregnant sister? You could have just confronted her and told her that you knew the truth and let her be dealing with the situation herself. But telling loan sharks about her to cause trouble? What kind of sister are you? They could have harmed her. What would you do then? Come on, OP, have some conscience and think before you end up doing something so stupid. Do you guys agree at all with that commenter? I would say most people in the comment section did not, because they were going back and forth left and right with this commenter saying, are you an idiot? Did you read the story at all? I want to know your thoughts though. Maybe somebody does agree, and if you do, let me know why. Drop it down below in the comment section, guys. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every single day, and if you want to be a part of these stories, all you gotta do is subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.